Yo, 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 yo. Right, this is gonna be a weird one because it's gonna be like a couple of minutes with getting rid of loads of stuff, which I really don't want to do because it helps me, make profits and progress in the next day and so forth and whatnot. But everybody is having troubles with saying one item is better than the other. Now, it's all well and good. Now, the items that we're going to be doing is... we're going to be putting through the challenges is the hamburgers, which is great, It gets you 84,000 straight away, nearly 85 grand, which is cool, and in less than 2 minutes, which is great. Can't be helped, but I think that's because I've been using studies as well. So what I'm going to do is sell all the items that need to be made for the hamburger. So I'm going to sell all the meats to make the burger. I'm going to sell all the stuff to make the tomato sauce. I'm going to delete all the stuff for the bread. Looks like I don't have to delete everything for the cheese because I've got none. And then I'm going to make the full thing with this video, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing with caviar. So my main things are these. So look, as you can see, but look, these four items, right? You don't need to actually put them in the oven. That's why it's kind of crazy. And look, 71,000, so 14,000 short, yeah. But, when you look at it in the long short, like for instance, if I go to, if I go for that and then I put it to 100, I get 8.4 million for the burgers, which is great. And then if I put it to 100 there, it's like 1 million short. But the downside is, the reasons why everybody's always thinking, it's not good, it's not good, it's because of all the hassle and stuff going around. So, for instance, when you go to make the hamburgers, you've got to go and get the orcs. So, you got to kill these. Now, you got to kill these in a certain time, and if you're lucky, with mine, they will be in like that. And don't worry, I'm going to be deleting all the stuff, so I can't cook everything yet, which will be annoying. So hopefully in the oven, you should see all the items that need to be cooked to be able to make one hamburger and then one caviar. But I'm going to set the timer, and then I'm going to set everything. So yeah, you got the orcs. Sorry, I'm waiting for the teleporter to do. And then you got the minotaurs to do, and depending on what your times are, it'll be thingy, like say for instance for me, it's this. And I'm going to turn off all these cards as well, so that way I don't get as much wood, don't get much coins, don't get much power, so then we can see how quickly it will be. Now, yeah. Now, for some reason, I'm having discussions with dudes with this game and playing it, and they're trying to see which is the best. Now, look, you've already done 2 farms, yeah? And those, at low level, seem to take, like, a while to hit. Where, like, for instance, they might take, like, 6 hits each, whereas the sharks, for me... whereas the sharks at the start of the game take like about 6 to 12 hits, and that's like one farm straight away, so it's kind of crazy. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that. Well, that's already gone wrong, but never mind. So yeah, and then I'm gonna do the smarter field. Then I'm gonna go into the sugar field. I have to make sure that everything is grown back first, otherwise it won't be a fair thing. But yeah, like I say, if I go into here, it says it takes 40 seconds for that to grow. Now, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. The dude just sent me loads of pictures of the times to make all the stuff, but he forgot to mention all of these bits. That's 40 seconds right there, and that's me having it maxed out, so it won't actually be a fair compared to his. But and then you gotta do pretty much every single farm you gotta do for the hamburgers, but the apples and the berries. Every other farm, if we look on the map, right? Obviously, say for instance, we're not in the truffle island yet, so we can't get the sharks, can't get all this. Yeah, so we've only got this. So basically, for instance, we have to go from the orcs, tomato, minotaurs, sugar, wheat, chicken, and cow. Now, you've got to look at the times at which those are done. So say for instance, if the wheat's taking like a minute for the whole entire field to grow, that's a minute which you should be adding, but you don't want to add it up, so it's crazy. Anyway, hopefully the caviar one will be a bit shorter because of all this hassle, but who knows? I'll have to probably do it the same way, because that way, it'll be the same. Anyway, so first things we've got to do is, I can't really get a fair thing, but what we got to do is we got to take off all these, because then I can't get the wood, and then I can't get the things, because I'm getting extra wood for that. So what you got to do for it all, and then we got to sell everything. So sell all the burgers, sell all the burgers. Now I really don't want to do that, because that would have been helpful to make the next burgers, but obviously, we're doing it all the right way. So sell the burgers, sell the meat, sell all the tomatoes, sell all the tomato juice sauce, which I made, not exactly just for the hamburgers. I need it for the dragons, but because people, are saying that they're better and whatever, and they found better ways, I have to take this off. So, which is kind of cool, because I'm making money at the same time, which is nice. Then I gotta get rid of the sugars. Then I gotta get rid of the sugar beetroot. Yeah. Then I gotta get rid of all the bread. Yeah. Do you need butter to make the bread? I think you do. No, that's eggs, milk. So, yeah. So, I also need to sell all the eggs. I need to sell all the milk. I need to sell all the wheat. And hopefully that's all the bits gone. So, yeah. So I'm going to start the timer now. So do that. And then 10 minutes. So let's go. So, and I'm not going to teleport as well, just because we haven't got that function yet, and we're not going to use the magnet because we haven't got that function yet. So that's going to be a bit annoying. So I'm giving it the full test as much as possible. So I'll get all these, which is going to be a bit annoying, and as you can see in here, it's a bit annoying. And like I just said to my dude, if you was to try and make a full 12 ovens of things, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. So basically, the only farms that I'm missing out on is the and I can't help the power that I'm still bringing to the table, but I'm trying to give a fair test, trying. So getting all these, and the thing is that you got to get a load of these to not only start the cooking for everything else. And this is what I'm saying. I've got to do all this for all the things. And as I say, I've got to try and collect it all at the same time. So I forgot about that. Sorry. So basically, every time I leave the farm, I've got to make sure that I've, collected everything that's there. Otherwise, that thing will be wrong. So, using the thing. So, let's get all the eggs and stuff. Yep, and then... So then we gotta do this. So it's best to try and get it as best as possible. So this is King Exhaustion thing would come in handy, like the magnets. But the thing is, I can't use those because that's not what we want to do. And now look, I've taken all the stuff off, and I'm still hitting it in one hit. So I'm sorry about that. I'm half the power, but I'm still got everything. So yeah, so look at this. This is pretty much when you're a high pickaxe level. I'm still hitting things in one hit. So until someone actually has... See, look, these aren't taking one hit now. These are taking 2 hits. So I'm already slower than what I was doing. Now, and then look, that's everything. And the thing is, with these, I can't do it. So basically, and then we just gotta do we just gotta do a tree run. And then, yeah. So, this is gonna be 10 minutes of trying to cook as many things as possible for hamburgers. And only hamburgers. Which at the moment, if I was to go into the oven, I would not be able to make any burgers. And this is why we say that the caviar one is better. But obviously, if you haven't got the sharks and you haven't got the stuff, then yeah, it's not going to be a fair one. So that's one route, yeah. One route, yep. Let's see how many hamburgers we can make. Come on. 0. Look at that. Nothing. There's nothing there. We need to cook the meat. We need to get the sauce. We need to get the bread. We need to get the cheese. The only downside is, with the bread and cheese, look at this. They use the same sort of thing. So wood and milk are going to be done. So we'll see how much we got. And I've got to try and do all this for everything. So let's try 5 for now of each item. And then we can at least maybe try and get one going. And see, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And this is almost done. And that's the person who I'm chatting with. So now I have to wait for the sugar to be made, so then I can make the sauce, which I have to wait then. So that's more time to do it, which is annoying. So I can't do it. So I can't make the things at the moment. So then, and then we do 5 of these. Look, so we have to wait. So we have to wait for those. And look, see, Look, we've only got the cheese and the bread. You know, we have to wait. We have to wait. Now, yeah, while we're waiting, we can go and do all the other stuff. Yeah, that's great. Like, we can go and collect all the woods and go around again. But this is what I'm saying. This is not very effective. Obviously, you know, when we use the teleporter or the magnet, yeah, that's going to be great. But I'm making it so it's not this, and kind of fair, I guess. So look, all the sugars are done now. So now we have to cook 5 of these. Yeah. And look, we're almost done. But look, see, we have to wait for all the stuff to come in. So it's kind of annoying. But while we're waiting, we can go and get all the other stuff. You know, go around again. And because I have all the things, it's gonna be kind of fun picking up all the items, because as you can see, it's got loads. And obviously when you're first starting out as well, you might not have as much HP as what I have. Now the thing is, with the HP, make sure that you're always hitting your hardest thing as much as you can. So in my case, it's the dragons, but in this case, at the moment, it would be the minotaurs. And see, because my farms are pretty much max, I can get a lot more stuff than the newer players can. So I can make more, but the downside is, you know, I can't really make as much. And as you can see as well with the burger as well, that takes a good minute or good 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah. So then I gotta wait for that. So you know. Whereas I would have already had something in the oven from the sharks. But as I say, new players might not have the sharks straight away. And look at this, I don't have to actually hit them, so it's still not as fair as it should be. The only way I can get a fair reading is if I can take off every single thing, like all the studies and whatever, all the perks I can turn off as much as possible, but I can't. So yeah. So yeah, like for instance this. Look, we got all that. So what we need to do is, so look, we got 3 burgers that are being made. So, you know, so 3 there. And look, that's 2 minutes already. So let's try. Wow, that's a time already. I didn't even get to make 1 burger. I didn't even get to make 1 burger. I didn't even put. That's the end result of what it is for 10 minutes. So I sold all that stuff and then did all this for no reason. Holy crap. Okay, well, there you go. Clearly, that's not a good thing. Okay, right.